Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope your Thursday is going well. We are at the Metrodome in Minnesota for the next to last game on the Saturday, June 20th slate. It's the Chicago White Sox taking on the Minnesota Twins. White Sox come into the game 29-34. Minnesota comes in 31-35. Look at our starting pitchers for today's game. Jose DeLeon on the mound for the White Sox. And on the mound for the Twins, it is Blyleven. So we'll look at some of the numbers for Blyleven. He is 6-5 on the replay. Wild pitch of 10, balk of 0, and a +4 when he combines with Butera. Blyleven's a +2 and Butera is a +2. This is game 459 overall in the replay. The Metrodome very hitter friendly. Singles 1-16 left, 1-13 right, and 1-11 both sides of the plate. We'll look at DeLeon in the bottom of the first, but right now we'll concentrate on Blyleven. In the real world, 1987 season, he was 15-12 with a 4.01 earned run average. And as we check his replay numbers, as I get this game up on the computer and get it started off, we get through a couple of menus here and we get to the main screen, we'll be ready to go. Blyleven on the replay is 6-5 with an ERA of 4.67, so almost a full point higher. Been struggling just a bit, although the numbers are pretty good overall. 108 innings pitched, only 97 hits allowed, 42 walks, 86 strikeouts. So those numbers are pretty good, but for whatever reason, he's given up some, I think it's the home. Let me check his home run totals. I think that's where he's getting dinged quite a bit. Let's see. He gave up 46 home runs real world in the season. So far, he's given up 18. So we'll see how he does. This is start number 16 for him. And he's going to be facing off against Ozzie Guillen of the White Sox, who will lead things off for them. Got our dice here, ready to go. And, of course, before the first pitch, we have the ceremonial first sip. That's mandatory. And that is good coffee, as someone once said. All right, so Ozzie Guillen on the replay is hitting .272, a homer and 25 driven in. He hit .279 real world, and we're underway from the Metrodome. 6'3", Guillen's a lefty. That's a ground ball first base X right away. Kent Hrbek testing his defense. He's a 2E6 for Hrbek. 2-9 is no problem. He'll get to that. E6, and that is a 12. So at first base, E6. There's a 13 there, but no 12. So the 2 and the 6 is a G2, or 2-9 rather is a G2. So Hrbek will get to it and flip the Blyleven covering. Guillen is retired, and we're off and running from the Metrodome. Hello, Miss Kathy. Here is Carlton Fisk. And if you're wondering, Kathy, I don't know a lot about modern technology, but a couple people have got me, investigating ChatGPT. So I messed around with ChatGPT. Don't even know what that is really, but so the thumbnail is just a messing around of that. So I doubt I'll stick to that. It's probably a one-time deal, but if you're wondering why the thumbnail was that instead of the Strat-O-Matic box, that was the reason, because I'm tinkering around with ChatGPT. All right, here is Carlton Fisk. Not that I know what I'm doing with it or will continue to do with it, but just thought I would do something different just to mix it up. Fisk hitting .273, 7 homers, 23 driven in on the replay, hit .256 real world. So 3-3, and that's a ballpark single for Fisk, which is a 1-13. That's a 12, so that's a base hit for Fisk, as he gets a base hit courtesy of the Metrodome. Fisk in no position to try to get a lead. Here is Ivan Calderon. Calderon on the replay is hitting .273, 7 homers, 21 driven in. He hit .293 real world. 6-8, and that's going to be a fly ball out to left field, hauled in by Dan Gladden. 2 away, and it's going to be up to the cleanup man, Harold Baines, to try to get the White Sox going this inning. For Baines, he is on the replay hitting 271, 2 homers, 21 driven in. He hit 293 real world. Nothing on the havoc. Here's Baines. 110 for Baines. It's a ground ball right back to Blyleven. It's an easy inning. Give the single, but that was all he did. Go to the bottom of the first. It is the White Sox nothing and the Twins coming to bat. And we'll look at the White Sox starter for today's game, Jose DeLeon, right-hander. DeLeon on the real season, 11-12 with a 4.02 ERA. On the replay, DeLeon is 6-6 with a 4.43 earned run average, 89 innings pitched, 79 hits, 44 walks, and 79 strikeouts. And Dan Gladden will lead us off for the Twins. Gladden hitting 227 on the replay, 4 homers, 19 driven in. He at 249 real world. 1-4 for Gladden, and that's off to a good start. Leadoff single for Dan Gladden. Now, Jose DeLeon has a +4 hold. He's a +4 by himself. Fisk is a 0, so that's going to encourage the Twins to try to get some leads. He also has a 6 wild pitch rating and a 2 balk. But right now, Gladden's trying for the lead, needs a 4, 5, or a 6. Hello, Jeff. He needs a 4, 5, or 6 to get a good lead. And he gets the good lead, but that's a 1. That means he might be picked off. So what I call the get-back number is the secondary number, number 14. So I'm going to re-roll the D20. If it's a 1 to 14, he gets back safely. If it's a 15 or higher, he is picked off. So DeLeon picks off Gladden, trying to get the lead. And let's look at Gladden's numbers for as far as stolen bases go, both on the regular season and on the replay. Gladden, real world 1987, stole 25 bases, got caught 9 times. Before this attempt, he had stolen 8 bases, caught 3 times. Now he's 8 bases and 4 times. So he is caught stealing as he was leaning, and they picked him off. So here's Randy Bush. Bush is your batter. Bush, the designated hitter for this game, hitting 231, 2 homers, 14 driven in. He at 253 real world. 3-6 for Bush, and that's a 1-2 triple. 3-20 is a single. That pickoff looms large. They could have had runners on the corners and nobody out. But pickoff took care of that. Now, Randy Bush going back to try to also get a lead. Needs a 4 or a 6. Doesn't get it, so he'll hold. And that'll bring up Kirby Puckett. Puckett center fielder hitting 321 on the replay. 10 homers, 37 driven in. He had 332 real world. 5-5 for DeLeon is a strikeout. So he gets Puckett on strikes. 1 away. Brings up the cleanup man, Kent Hrbek, first baseman. Hrbek on the replay hitting 298, 18 homers, 47 driven in. He had 285 real world. 311 for Hrbek, and that's going to be a ballpark single check. And again, in the Metrodome, that's almost automatic. That's a 16, that's an 8, so that's a base hit. It's only one base advancement, but now runners are at first and second. And boy, without that pickoff, they could at least have the bases loaded, but you don't know that when you're starting the game. Here's Bernansky, right fielder, hitting 262 on the replay, 8 homers, 28 driven in. He had 259 real world. 1-7, and that's a walk. That's going to load the bases. So DeLeon, the only out he has so far is a pickoff. Actually, he's got 2 outs. He had a pickoff and a strikeout, but now he's got the bases loaded with 2 outs. And Roy Smalley, the third baseman, this is like the 3rd game in a row that he's playing third base instead of Gaetti. I guess Gaetti has some sort of nagging injury because Gaetti is on the roster and active. But Smalley's taking his place today once again. Smalley on the replay hitting 276, 4 homers, 22 driven in. He at 275 real world. And in the clutch for Smalley, he loses a hit on 1-7. Everywhere else he's neutral. Get a 2-5 for Smalley, and that's a solid base hit to right field. Single to right field. The right fielder arm is Calderona -1. So we'll see what happens. We know Bush is going to score from third, obviously. Herbeck only runs an 11. Not being held is a 12. 2 outs makes him a 14. -1's a 13. 1-13, Herbeck can score. And Bernansky would take third on the throw. So they are going to try to score him, and the White Sox will try to get him at the plate. So once again, the calculation for Herbeck. He runs an 11, not being held as a middle runner. He's a 12. Plus the 2 outs makes him a 14. And the -1 from Calderon makes it a 13. And he's in there. So it's a 2-run single by Roy Smalley. Bernansky takes third. Smalley stays at first. So a 2-run single from Roy Smalley gives the Twins a 1-0 lead or 2-0 lead. And that'll bring up Steve Lombardozzi hitting .254 on the replay. 3 homers, 17 driven in. Hit .238 real world. That's a 1. Wild pitch rating on DeLeon is a 6. No wild pitch is Lombardozzi. 4-9. And that's a 1 for a triple. Anything else, he flies to center, and that will end the inning. But the Twins cash in for 2, thanks to Roy Smalley's 2-run single. At the end of 1, it's Minnesota 2 and the White Sox 0 here at the Metrodome. Blyleven given a 2-0 lead to protect. Start the top of the second. For Greg Walker, first baseman, Walker hitting .211 on the replay. 4 homers, 23 driven in. He hit .256 on the real season. 1-7 for Walker, and that's a base on balls. What do you know? Walker walks. Got a lot of walks here, and that 1-7, 1-8, 1-9, all ripe with walks there. So he will be aboard. He no threat to run. Here's Donnie Hill, second baseman, switch hitter. Donnie Hill in the replay hitting an even 200 and 105 at bats. 2 homers, 15 driven in. He is .239 real world. The 4-8 switch hitter batting left. That's a strikeout for Blyleven, his first. Takes care of Hill. That'll bring up Darryl Boston, left fielder. Boston on the replay hitting .273, 7 homers, 18 driven in. He is .258 real world. 3-3 for Boston. That's another ballpark single. Back to the Metrodome, 1-16. It's going to be a base hit. You go to the Metrodome for your hits, you're going to probably be successful. First and second, 1 out. And that takes us to Ken Williams, the center fielder. Williams on the replay has been struggling. He's only hitting .175 in 80 at-bats, 2 homers and 8 driven in 391 real-life at-bats. He hit .281. So he needs to pick it up. 2-7, and that's going to be a strikeout. That's not picking it up. That's laying it down. So Blyleven lays down the strikeout, probably a 12-6 curveball that got him. 2 down, and now it's a clutch at bat for Tim Hewlett. Hewlett in the clutch is going to gain 1 hit on 3-2. Everywhere else he is the same. Hewlett on the replay hitting .230. 4 homers, 19 driven in. He's almost done with this season. He only had 240 at-bats real world. He's already had 213 replay at-bats. He had 7 homers, 28 RBI real world. He's got 4 homers, 19 RBI in the replay. .47. That's a ground ball to second base X. We're looking at Lombardozzi. He's a 2E18. Blyleven needs him to field this to get him out of the inning. 218 is good all day long. That's a 9, and he's an E18 at second base. E18 at second base is a 13, 3, and 18, but no 9. So that means that Lombardozzi makes the play, and the Sox will leave 2 on base. Blyleven gets out of it. We go to the bottom of the second, still 2-0 Twins. And the bottom of the order coming up for the Minnesota Twins, it's going to be Gagne, Butera, and then Gladden. against Jose DeLeon, who had a rough go of it in the first inning, giving up 4 hits and a walk. 1-9 for Gagne, and the hit parade continues. 1-10 is a triple. That's a 6. Gagne with his 5th triple of the replay. He had 7 of them real world. I'm getting ready to write home run. What am I doing? Triple for Gagne. Triple for Gagne. A 1-9 is a 1-10 triple, 11-20 double, and that's a 6. So a triple for Mr. Gagne, and he was the only guy that got me the cycle so far in this replay. Hello, RN. Good to see you. Or R9. I'm not sure. I keep forgetting how I'm supposed to interpret your name there. But Gagne, with his 5th triple of the replay, he had 7 triples real world. And he's aboard with nobody out. Infield's going to come in for the White Sox against the weak-hitting Sal Butera. Butera is hitting .208 on the replay. 1 homer, 5 driven inning at 171 real world. Infield is in. 4-4, and that's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Hewlett. 4-E-22 for Tim Hewlett. 4-2, that's going to get by him for a base hit. Didn't matter where the infield was. That'll be an RBI single for Sal Butera. Now we're just going to check for the error possibilities. And for Hewlett, he's an E22, and that is a 12 at third base. E22, there's a 12 sitting right there, the first number listed. So not only will it be a single, but it will also be an error. E5 for Hewlett. And the White Sox a little sluggish to start the ball game. Now 3-0 Twins. Butera at second, nobody out. Back to the top of the order for Dan Gladden. Singled his first time off, but got picked off. That's a 1, so a wild pitch chance on DeLeon's a 6. And it is a 6, so they will wild pitch Butera to third base. That's going to be big because now the infield's going to need to come in again. Gladden. 1-3, and that doesn't matter where the infield is. That's going to be a 1-8 triple, but he'll settle with a double. Single and now a double. RBI double. And all of a sudden, it is 4-0 Twins. They've pounded DeLeon for 7 hits already. Here's Randy Bush. Randy Bush. 6-6 lefty. That's a strikeout. Much needed strikeout. Only offering Strat had in their newest offerings that even remotely interest me, because 52 didn't interest me and 2025 didn't interest me, but 85. But I've got 84 and 86, and obviously 87, 88 and 89 and 90, 91 and 92 and 93. 82. I don't have 83. I do have 84. Don't have 85. All right. Here, actually, I've got 83, but it's in the old format where it's just advanced and there's only like 20 guys per team. So, all right, here's Puckett. For 7, and that's going to be a ground ball second base X. We are looking at Donnie Hill, 4E11. 4-18, he'll get to that. E11, but that's a 15. That could be problematic at second base, and E11. And there's a 15 right there. So another error on the White Sox. Second error of the inning. Going to put runners on the corners. Still only 1 out for Ken Herbeck. So not only is also with 1 out, they're going to play back for the double play. Herbeck is prone to hitting the double plays. A lot of ground ball A's on that column 1. But he found column 2. 2-11's ground ball third base B. So the run is going to score. They were playing back for the double play, and they gave up a run because of it. 5-4, but Herbeck beats the relay. It's an RBI ground out for Herbeck, his 48th run batted in of the replay. The out's going to go 5-4. 5-0 Twins. 2 down now for Brunansky. Brunansky walked his first time up. LOC Henninghousing. I guess that's how I'm going to read that. I'm not sure. But if you're a Twins fan, you're in good shape in this game so far. Brunansky 3-7, and that's a single to center field. That will move Herbeck to second base, but that's as far as he's going to go. He doesn't run very well. Roy Smalley had that big 2-run single back in the first. Is up again with runners in scoring position. Clutch situation, but he does lose the hit on the 1-7. 2 is a balk or pass ball chance. That's a pass ball chance on Fisk. He's only a 3 pass ball rating, so no pass ball. Smalley 4-8, switch hitter batting left. 4-8 is a single to center field. Roy Smalley has done it again. Base hit to center field. The run, Williams is a 0, so they're going to send her back. He's an 11. Not being held makes him a 12. 2 outs makes him a 14. So a 1-14, and Herbeck will score. And he does. Brunansky will take third on the throw. But RBI single from Roy Smalley. And this could be the beginning of the end for Jose DeLeon. He has now reached fatigue, and we're only in the second inning. Fatigue being, ineffective. It's 6-0. So if he hits a dot, he'll have to come out of the game. Here's Lombardozzi. 5-7. And it's a ground ball shortstop X. Here's Guillen. 2E21 for Guillen. And to be fair to DeLeon, his defense has not done him any favors. That's a 2 and a 5. I think Guillen will handle it, though. 2 and a 5 is a G3 pound, but he's not holding anybody on, so the pound doesn't matter. 14, and he is an E21 at short. And there's a 15 there, but no 14. So Guillen, it manages to make the play, and the inning is over. But it's a Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning. And at the end of 2 complete, it is Minnesota 6, Chicago nothing. But like they say in Fenway, they kind of say the same thing in the Metrodome. The game may never be over because of how inducive it is to hitting. So we go to the top of the third. And the White Sox will send up Ozzie Guillen, Carlton Fisk, and Calderon, top of the order. 4-8 lefty, and that's a strikeout for Blyleven. That is his third strikeout. Dot there, but of course he's not tired. So Guillen is out of there, 1 away. And that brings up Pudge Fisk. He singled his first time up. 3-6 for Fisk. He's going to ground it to third. Smalley is there, 2 down. 2 up, 2 down for Ivan Calderon, right fielder. 2-3, and that's a ballpark. I'm sorry, but over here, 2-3 is a walk. That is the second walk issued by Blyleven. Down 6-0. The White Sox are not going to try any stealing. Here's Harold Baines. 4-10, and that's a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the third. It is 6-0 Twins. DeLeon back out. Definitely on what they call a short leash. But they'd like to get some innings out of him. If we look at the White Sox bullpen, we'll look and see who they've got that's got some length to them. And they've got Ralph Citarella loosening in the bullpen. Ralph Citarella, we're going to ultimate mop-up guys here because we're in a mop-up guy situation right now. All right, here's Gagne. He tripled his first time up. See what he does here against DeLeon. 4-5, and that's a strikeout. So DeLeon gets the strikeout. That's only his third. And that'll take us to Butera. 5-5, and that's another strikeout. Boy, DeLeon's coming out firing here in the third inning. I guess he figured he doesn't have much left in the tank, so he's going to let what he has loose. Here's Dan Gladden. 4-9. And that is a 1 for a triple. Anything else, he flies to center. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for DeLeon. And he will at least make it through 3 innings. Interesting how he was able to rebound like that. At the end of 3 complete, it is Minnesota 6, Chicago nothing. And Kathy has a trivia question for us. So if you will check out the chat area and see if we can't decipher her trivia question. Hopefully it's not as hard as the first one was yesterday. We will see. And here is the question. This team won their first game of the season, led their division in the whole season, and went on to win the World Series. If you know team and season. Hello, the phrase. Let's see here. Let me reread this question. I was kind of got lost in the question there. This team won their first game of the season, led their division the whole season, and went on to win the World Series. And we're looking for the team and the season. Okay, that's interesting. I could have a wild shot at it, but I'd be wrong. So I'm just going to throw out the 1998 Yankees, but I'm sure that's wrong. So I'll let other people's guess and see if they can come up with the right answer. In the meantime, Bert Blyleven facing Greg Walker. 1-9 for Walker, and that's a walk. That's the second time he's walked. How about that? All right, now we've got a guess of the 1990 Reds. Like I said, I'm just throwing out teams in the dark, so I have no idea. But I thought that the 84 Tigers sound interesting because they won so many games. Oh, it is the Reds. Okay, cool. 1990 Reds. And if I remember correctly about the 1990 Reds, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but if I remember correctly, usually opening day is always in Cincinnati. But I think with 1990, something was going on. I'm not sure if it was a player lockout or something that was going on where they actually started the season in Houston rather than starting it in Cincinnati. I think that was the 90 season that happened. I'm not sure, but I know it was one of those seasons back then where because usually the traditional starting point is in Cincinnati. But for whatever reason, I'm thinking it was like a lockout or something like that that caused them to start the season in Houston. All right, here is Donnie Hill. That's a 1, so Blyleven's wild pitch rating is a 10. And that's a 16, so no wild pitch. So back to Donnie Hill. 5-8 switch hitter, and that's a strikeout for Blyleven. Strikeout number 4. Donnie Hill is retired. Here is Darryl Boston. Singled his first time up. 5-2, and that's a fly to left, 2 down. I'm not a longtime Reds fan, but I am a longtime baseball traditionalist. So I did not like seeing when they took the first game of the season away from the Reds at home. To me, that's tradition. The Reds should always open the season at home to start the season. But tradition in baseball these days is long gone. 6-9, and that's going to be a fly to right. And that will end the inning. I don't want to sound like a get off my lawn guy, but I do like tradition and do miss the fact that baseball has departed from tradition in many ways. But that's just the way it is. Changing with the times, I guess. Here's Randy Bush. 6-9, and that is a 1-7 single base hit for Bush. Hit parade continues for the Twins. That is base hit number 10. Here's Puckett. Three-two for Puckett. That's a ground ball pitcher A. That's going to be a double play. 1-4-3. It's not a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play, but Jose DeLeon will take it in a pinch. He needs the outs. So 2 quick outs there, and here comes Herbeck. One seven for Herbeck. He flies to center, and that's 2 shutout innings in a row by DeLeon, so maybe he has somewhat recovered. Now, he's still going to keep his fatigue, so if he hits the dot, he's going to have to come out. But as long as he can avoid the dots and pitch well, he'll stay in the game. So we go to the top of the 5th, rather. And for the White Sox, it'll be bottom of the order, Tim Hewlett to lead it off. Hewlett, his first time up, grounded to Lombardozzi at second. 6-4, and that's going to be a catcher X. We're looking at Butera, 4E5. 4-16. Of course, the bases are empty, so no chance of a wild pitch or pass ball. 4-16 for a catcher is going to be a foul out, but that's a 17. That could be an error. He is an E5. E5, and there's a 17 right there. So it's going to be a one-base error on Butera, as it's an F2 with an error. So, or PF with an error, I should say. P/F with an error. Where'd you go, P/F with an error? There he is, P/F. Batter swings and misses the pitch, but he is awarded first base when the umpire calls catcher's interference. Oh, that's a rare play. Catcher drops a foul, pop on error, play resumed. All right, so it's just an E2 on Butera with nothing happening. The batter's still at bat, but on the computer, you can give the error to Butera. So it is going to be an E2. So I'll put that in after the at-bat is over. I'm not sure how I want to phrase it after that. So here's Hewlett getting the second chance, 6-5, and he flies to center. So we've got an E2 and then an F8. Kind of hard to score that when things like that happen, but it's in the computer. That's all that counts because the computer is compiling all the stats for me. Here's Ozzie Guillen. 6-5, and that's a strikeout for Blyleven. That is the 5th for Mr. Blyleven. Two outs now, and here comes Carlton Fisk. There will be a 7th inning stretch because my coffee's already starting to get cool. 4-8, and that's going to be another strikeout for Blyleven. Strikeout number 6. Go to the bottom of the 5th. Twins seemingly in control, 6-0. But in the Metrodome, anything can happen. Game can turn on a dime. DeLeon back out will face Brunansky, Smalley, and Lombardozzi. 1-5 for Bruno. It's a ballpark blast, and that's gone. It's a 1-11. That's a 7. So Tom Brunansky hits his 9th home run of the replay. He's kind of behind on his home runs. He had 32 of them real world. This is only his 9th, and he's almost halfway through his at-bats. So he's definitely way behind. Some guys are ahead on the home run. Some guys are behind. Brunansky's behind, but he catches up with one of them right here. Ballpark blast. Home run, Tom Brunansky. It's not dream number 9. It's home run number 9 for Tom Brunansky. 7-0 Twins. And here's Roy Smalley, possibly the player of the game so far. He's got 2 singles and 3 runs batted in. 1-8, and that's a strikeout for Smalley here. So strikeout number 5 for DeLeon. 1 away for Lombardozzi. 6-7. That's a base on balls for DeLeon. And for DeLeon, that is his, where did it go here? How many walks has he had? That's his 2nd walk. 2nd walk, and here's Gagne. This is going to probably be DeLeon's last inning, I would think. 1-9, and that's a well, he might not even make it through the inning. 1 to 10 is a triple. So it's a triple again for Gagne, his second triple of the game. 1-9 is a triple. 1 to 10, that's a 5. Second triple for Greg Gagne. Makes it 8-0, and that's going to be it for DeLeon. He is going to have to leave at this point. Second triple for Gagne, and they'll go to the bullpen for Ralph Citarella. And if you're wondering who he is, so am I. Never heard of the guy, but he's on the roster. In the bullpen, I should say. And he is fresh. He has not pitched in the replay to this point. He's a recent call-up. So this will be his first appearance of the season. He was 0-0 with a 7.36 ERA and 11 innings of pitching. Gave up 4 home runs in just 11 innings of pitching. But again, he is modeling the definition of mop-up guy. And when the score is 8-0, you're basically looking at a mop-up guy. So Citarella almost sounds like Cinderella. Don't know if he's a Cinderella story or not. It may be a Citarella story. Let's see here. DeLeon went 4 1/3. Going to give up 12 hits, 8 runs, but Gagne is his responsibility, so he could add more to that. Looks like 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. So Citarella will be facing Butera. 1 out, runner at third. Infield is in. Not that it matters at this point, but they're going to play it in anyway. 1-4 for Butera. He lines it to third. That's out number 2. So Citarella gets his first, registers his first out of the replay. Here comes Tan Gladden. It's still technically a clutch situation, even though the score is 8-0. He loses the hit on 2-8 and on 3-3 for Gladden. So 2 places he loses hits. 1-9, and that's going to be a base on balls for Gladden. He's going to put runners on the corners, and of course, with the score being 8-0, we're going to call the dogs off as far as trying to steal bases and whatnot. Kind of both teams are kind of conceding that. Here's Randy Bush. And when the inning's over, Kathy does have a second question for us to start the top of the 6th. But we're trying to get through the 5th. At least Citarella is, if he can do it. 3-10, and that's a look at this. This is technically a clutch at bat because there are 2 outs and runners are in scoring position. So despite the fact that it's 8-0, it is still a clutch at bat, and Randy Bush gets a hit in the clutch. This out turns into a hit, turns to a single 2 stars on the 3-10. So Randy Bush, a single 2 stars. That run is charged to DeLeon. We can close the book on him now. He's given up 9 runs as DeLeon. I believe they're all earned, but I'll double check it. Some of these in the second may not be earned. Don't think it really matters at this point. But Randy Bush coming through in technically what is a clutch situation to get the hit. Here's Puckett. All these hits, and surprisingly, Puckett's 0 for 3. 1-7 for Puckett, and this is anti-clutch for Puckett. We're still in a clutch situation. This time it's an anti-clutch for Puckett. He would have gotten the hit, but the Omega says, no, you're not going to get a hit this time. So pop up to short. So we had back-to-back clutch situations come up right there. So they'll limit the damage to 3 runs, if you can call it limiting. And that will mercifully end the inning and get Citarella back in the dugout. Minnesota treating the White Sox like the wicked stepsisters right now. As Citarella is can't find that glass slipper. So we go to the top of the 6th. If you turn your attention to the chat area, Kathy has a trivia question for us. And while she does that, I'm going to get the totals on DeLeon just to verify what his totals were and see how many runs were earned versus earned runs. He had 9 runs, 7 of them are earned. All right, so we're ready to start the top of the 6th as soon as we finish reading the question. This pitcher set a 20th century record with 8 shutouts in his rookie season in the National League. That almost sound. I have a guess, but again, I'll let others chime in first, and then if nobody gets it, then I'll try to chime in. But I have a guess. Of course, my last guess was wrong too. So what are you gonna do? Here's Calderon, 5-6, and that's going to be a single off of Blyleven for Calderon. Lead off single. 9-0 Twins, top of the 6th. Guy I'm thinking of pitched for the Dodgers, but that may not be right, so I don't know. Here's Harold Baines. Okay, then my guess may be correct. Did he have a mania named after him? 4-11. That's a strikeout. Strikeout number 7. And did ABBA sing a song about him? Here's Greg Walker. That's balk or pass ball chance. Pass ball chance on Butera is a 14. And that's a 7. It will be a pass ball. There was something in the air that night for Nando. So pass ball will move the runner to second base. And Walker will try again. 2-11, and that's a ballpark single, and a 1-16 is going to produce the hit. That'll put runners on the corners. White Sox threatening to score for the first time. Donnie Hill, your batter. Infield double play depth with a 9-0 lead. Three-eight, and that's a ground ball third base B. They'll get the run in. They'll get the force at second, but it'll be an RBI ground out for Donnie Hill on the 5-4 ground out, and the White Sox are finally on the board. Fielder's choice. Now a 9-1 game. Why didn't they score that? Hold on here. Let's check the computer again. Oh, you know what? I didn't do the pass ball. That was the problem. All right, let's do this. Let's back this up. For some reason the pass ball wasn't put in there. All right, now we have the fielder's choice. So 2 away, Hill is at first base. Now a 9-1 game, and here's Darryl Boston. Five-8, and that's a strikeout for Blyleven, his 8th. White Sox get on the board, but they still trail it by 8 runs, 9-1, favor the Twins. Citarella coming back out. His job is to eat as many innings as possible. Save the rest of the bullpen for another day. Ken Herbeck will lead it off. 6-10, and that is a fly to center field X. Center fielder is Williams, 2E9. Whoops. 2E9 for Williams. 2 and a 15 is good. E9 and an 8. Center fielder, E9. There is no 8 there, so Williams will make the play, and Herbeck is out of there for out number 1. Thank you for that trivia question, Kathy. It's actually one that I actually felt like I was close to knowing. Here's Bernansky, homered his last time up, 5-9, and that's a strikeout for Citarella. How about Citarella? Here's Smalley, he's 2 for 3. 3-5, and he's going to draw a base on balls. 2-out walk to Smalley. We'll send up Lombardozzi. 2-8 for Lombardozzi. He will line it to second base. Donnie Hill snags it. And we go to the top of the 7th. Score still remains Minnesota 9 and the White Sox 1. This will be the fatigue inning for Blyleven. The phrase, since you're a Reds fan, I'm going to guess the Reds, but that's something you probably would know being a Reds fan, but maybe it was somebody else. But if I had to take an outside guess, I would say the Reds. Here is Ken Williams to lead it off. 2-9, and he's going to ground it to short. Gagne. Oh, it wasn't the Reds. Okay. Well, then we'll have to figure it out. That I don't know. So Williams grounds to short. Whoops. One away. Remember, there will be a 7th inning stretch break while I go heat my coffee and top it off because it's about almost gone. So here's Hewlett. 5-3. Fly ball right field X. We're looking at Bernansky, the 2E4. 2 and a 5 for Bernansky. 2 and a 5's an F2. That's a 10. E4, there is no 10 there, so Bernansky makes the play. Hewlett is out of there. 2 away. And we go back to the top of the order for Gee, and he's 0 for 3. 110, make him 0 for 4 as he flies to center. So Blyleven, a 1-2-3 7th, which means he keeps full endurance into the 8th inning. Now Kathy is on the other end. She's guessing a trivia rather than giving them out. That's a different side. We'll see if the Mets are the right answer to that. I don't know. But we are at the 7th inning stretch break. And we shall get ready for the 7th inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game while I go heat my coffee. Heat and refresh. As you can see, the coffee is down near the bottom of the cup there, so I'm going to top it off and refresh it.
Learn how to.
So, here we go. All right, we are ready to continue. And I'm going to check let's get back to where we were here. See if we've got a correct answer. Phillies. Okay, the Phillies were the team that beat Fernando for the first time. All right, nice job, Kathy, and good question there, Praise. So we are at the bottom of the 7th, and Citarella Let's see if the glass slipper still fits in his relief outing, his initial inaugural debut in 1987. This may have been his major league debut. I think he pitched in other seasons, though, so I don't think it's his major league debut. I think it's his 1987 debut. And here is Greg Gagne. He has tripled twice. 2-8. This time he will ground it to short. And there's one away. So Citarella pitching surprisingly well compared to what his stats show. Here's Sal Butera. 2-4 for Butera. He grounds it back to Citarella. 2 down. But it doesn't matter how good or bad you are. If the dice are in your favor, you'll find a way to get outs. No question about it. Here's Gladden. 2-6 for Gladden. Grounds him to third. That's going to end the inning. So how about that? Citarella might go ahead and finish this game out. No reason why he can't. It's gone 2 2/3, but why not go a third? He's not showing any fatigue. So we go to the top of the 8th. Speaking of fatigue, Blyleven went 1, 2, 3 in the 7th, so he keeps full endurance into the top of the 8th. And leading off for the White Sox will be Carlton Fisk. It'll be Fisk, Calderon, and Baines, heart of the order for the White Sox. 5-5, and that's a solid double off of Bert Blyleven for Carlton Fisk. No action in the Twins bullpen just yet, but if the White Sox mount a little bit of a rally, I'm sure the bullpen will start to stir. But right now with a 9-1 lead, they're going to leave Blyleven to his own defenses. 3-10, and that is going to be a split. 1-4 is a single. That's a 2, so it's a base hit. Base hit for Ivan Calderon. Going to put runners at the corners. Nobody out. Harold Baines, your batter. Baines is 0 for 2. I'm sorry, 0 for 3, actually. 4-9, left-handed. That's a ballpark blast for Harold Baines. He's got normal power. It's a 1 to an 11, but that's a 20. So he won't get the home run, but he will get the sacrifice fly by default, as that turns into a fly ball B when the home run fails. So sacrifice fly from Harold Baines cuts the lead to 9-2. 1 out for Greg Walker. Calderon still at first. Of course, not being held on. 2-9 for Walker, and that's trouble for Blyleven. 1-14 is a double. It'll be a double 2 stars. And now the Twins bullpen starts to stir. Looks like Blyleven may have hit a wall here. Second and third, only 1 out. Blyleven is now considered tired. So if he hits a dot, that will change to a hit and will have to come out automatically. A couple of his strikeouts have dots on them, so we'll keep an eye on that. In the bullpen is George Frazier. He is loosening in the bullpen for the Twins. He would come in if Blyleven can't finish what he started. Donnie Hill. Infield, of course, is back with a big lead. 3-6 for Hill, and that is a 1-10 double. That is a 10 right on the number. So it's a 2-run double for Donnie Hill. And that's going to be it for Blyleven. He just hit a wall here in this 8th inning. It is now a 10-4 good buddy game. Get your CB radios out as we will head to the bullpen. Actually, it's a 9-4. I don't know where I got 10 from. It's a 9-4 game. 1 short of Dolly Parton. So 9-4 ball game. I don't know where I got the 10 from. I was thinking the hits, I guess. But that's going to do it for Blyleven. He just hit a wall right here at the end. And so George Frazier will be coming on to pitch for the Twins. Blyleven is going to go 7 1/3 innings. He is going to give up 8 hits. So far, 4 runs. He is responsible for Hill. And let's see, walks. He walked. Looks like I'm seeing just the 2 walks. He walked Walker. I'm sorry, he walked Calderon. So 3 walks. And he struck out 8. And of course, should go to 7-5 unless there's disaster strikes. So we'll get Frazier in from the bullpen. Get that fresh arm in there. Frazier. Get his numbers both on the replay and on real season. Real season, he was 5-5 with a 4.98 ERA and 2 saves. He has struggled on the replay. He's 3-1 with a 7.19 ERA and 1 save. 41 innings pitched, 47 hits, 29 walks, 33 strikeouts. He is a +5 on his hold, so that's going to make him a +5. Not that the White Sox are going to be trying to steal or anything, but just for notation purposes. So 1 out, Hill at second, and Darryl Boston, your batter. And now a 9-4 ball game. 1-7, and that's a home run. 1-9, that's a 16. It'll be another double for Boston. That'll make it a Dolly Parton 9-5 special. That'll close the book on Blyleven. He's going to give up 5 runs. They're all earned, so his really good outing kind of turns mediocre here at the end. RBI double makes it 9-5. Now things get a little more serious here in the Metrodome. 3 doubles in a row. Walker, Hill, and Boston, all doubles in a row. Here's Ken Williams. 4-2, and that's a ground ball first base C. So the only play is for Herbeck to flip to Frazier for out number 2. Boston will take third on the play, but now there are 2 outs. And we'll get Tim Hewlett stepping to the plate. Hewlett is 0 for 3. Let's see if the White Sox want to go to the bench for a better hitter. They will. Hewlett will be lifted. And going to the bench, they will call on Jerry Hairston to pinch hit. And then playing third base will be Jerry Royster. So Jerry Royster will come into play third after Hairston hits. So Hairston gets the call to pinch hit here in the 8th inning. And Royster will take over at third base in the 8th inning. 8th man to bat in the inning is going to be the pinch hitter, Jerry Hairston. We'll bring him on the computer, see what he's done, both real world and season. He is the only lefty on the bench. He's actually a switch hitter, but only one that can bat left-handed. So that's why they're playing the percentages. Hairston on the replay, though, has been killing it. He's hitting .344, 2 homers, 6 driven in, and just 32 at-bats. Real world, he hit .230, 5 homers, 20 driven in, and 126 at-bats. It's a clutch situation with a runner on third and 2 outs. Frazier, and in the clutch, Hairston gets a hit. Couple clutch hits he picks up, one on a 212 and one on a 110 and one on a 310 and one on a 3-4. So he gets 4 clutch hits. Another good reason to pinch hit with him is he gets 4 clutch hits in this situation. 2-7, but this time he struck out. He found the strikeout, and that's going to end the inning. But it's a productive inning for the White Sox as they knock Blyleven out of the game, and it is an Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning. And we are at a Dolly Parton standstill at 9-5. And Cittarella's coming back out. Why not? No reason not to. He'll be facing Bush, Puckett, and Herbeck in the bottom of the 8th. And now on the computer, Royster has to come in and play third base. And it will be Randy Bush. He is 3 for 4. 5-3. But he strikes out here. Boy, Cittarella is pitching amazing. Based on his 7.36 ERA, he has shut down the Twins big time. Here's Kirby Puckett. Puckett 4-8. And that's another strikeout. Cittarella, he is wearing the magic slipper in this game. Here's Herbeck. 6-7, and that's a pop out to second base. So Citarella, a stellar job out of the bullpen for the White Sox. He is going to go 3 2/3 innings out of the bullpen. In mop-up duty, he mopped up very well. Of course, in the nursery rhyme story, I'm sure Cinderella did a lot of mopping before she went to the ball. So no stranger to mopping is Citarella. He gave up 1 hit, no runs, walked 2, struck out 3. Frazier's still there. There's no save situation as of yet, but if it gets close, Jeff Reardon will loosen up. But Twins would like to avoid having Reardon have to pitch. They'd rather have Frazier finish out the game. 9 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for the Twins. 5 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for the White Sox as we start the top of the 9th with Ozzie Guillen, top of the order. He's 0 for 4. 3-3 for Guillen, and he's going to pop it up to second, make him 0 for 5. When your leadoff hitter is 0 for 5, it does not bode well for you. So Ozzie Guillen starts off with a pop to second. Here's Carlton Fisk. 110 for Fisk. He's going to ground it to third. Smalley is there, 2 down. So it looks like Frazier might be able to close this out and they can give Reardon a rest. Here is Calderon, last chance. He is 2 for 3. That's a 2-3, and that's a base on balls. So the ball game will continue for one more batter. It's Harold Baines. Harold Baines. Five, 6, and that's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he's not tired, and the ball game is over. The Twins hang on and win it by the score, Dolly Parton style, 9-5 over the White Sox. Frazier's going to go in an inning and 2/3. There is no save situation to worry about here. Let's go to the box score and get the totals, and then we can get you ready for Friday's game between the Texas Rangers and the Oakland A's from Oakland. That will be the game on Friday to finish off the week. So final line score for the Twins, 9 runs, 13 hits, and 1 error. For the White Sox, 5 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors. Winning pitcher, Bert Blyleven, he is now 7-5. Frazier went an inning and 2/3, gave up a hit, nothing else but a walk and 2 strikeouts. The loss to DeLeon, he drops to 6-7. Player of the game, give it to a whole bunch of guys, but Roy Smalley was the one who really got him going with those 2 single in the first and an RBI single in the second. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Roy Smalley, despite the fact that Gagne had 2 triples. I think Roy Smalley may have done the most damage there. So as we move forward and look at tomorrow's game, we turn the page and we look at the matchup tomorrow from Oakland. It's left-hander Kurt Young against right-hander Bobby Witt. And Kathy, you'll appreciate this. Hot Dog Jackson will be batting 6th as a designated hitter in tomorrow's game. So you get your fill of Hot Dog Jackson to start your weekend tomorrow, as the A's and the Rangers will play it out. It'll be game number 460 on the replay from the Oakland Coliseum. So I hope you all had enjoyed this presentation of Strat-O-Matic, super advanced 1987 style. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.